And welcome to the Adam Friedland Show. Guys, I just off top, I want to say that I was just in London. I had like my shows filmed there. So I'm going to be releasing 20 minutes of that show of stuff material I don't want to put on a special that I spent money filming it. So we'll consider it an EP, the London EP.
That's what you didn't want to say before we started?
I did want to say. When I said, can I say something?
I thought you were saying, can I say something before we start?
I said, I don't want to say that I'm gay.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm in the closet still as a homosexual man.
Interesting.
I haven't released this extensive amount of stand-up, so it's very I'm nervous, guys. Because, you know, when you try at something, it's different than a pod. You guys can call me gay on a podcast as much as you want. It'll never really hurt my feelings because, I don't know, I have sex, you know,
cool.
once every 2 weeks probably. So you can't really hurt my feelings. But if I try really hard at stand-up and then someone says something, it'll always a little bit, you know what I'm saying.
There's nothing more vulnerable than actually putting in effort.
Trying is very scary.
It really is.
Because if someone says it's gay, then you're like, I think so too.
Yeah.
Deep down.
Oh.
I've been telling myself it's gay deep down.
Well, and the internet
but
just
fuck
feasts.
you. But fuck you. I'm excited. I think it looks good. I've been editing it all week, and it's fun. I think it's fun.
What are you gonna call it?
Well, my friend was gonna name his book "It's Wrong to Be Jewish," and he didn't. He decided not to.
Okay.
And he said I could have that name, but I think it's still like I'm just gonna say London 2 nights.
Sure.
London Calling.
London Calling.
Not
I'm
bad.
calling it London Calling 2 nights in London, the EP. So everything that's not on there is what's gonna go on an hour-long special, but I don't know. I have to release this material before the rest of Gaza is dead. Because there's a lot of topical. I think for this death toll, it's appropriate.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Once the rest of Gaza's gone,
What's the scales?
then it'll be in poor taste. Then it'll be in really poor taste.
Yeah.
Once Kamala, once Trump is in jail, once he's in a non-binary prison or whatever. Is that what Kamala's doing? She's doing men's and women's prisons together. That's
I didn't know that.
I don't know.
That's cool. It's like a unisex bathroom.
Is that what the Democrats are doing? All gender prisons?
Yeah. Speaking of London, you could just announce that you're a woman and then you go into a woman's prison.
Well, I did
right?
get nervous there because they don't have free speech,
It would
right?
be pretty crazy if they sexually integrated the prisons and you go to prison as a guy and you still get raped. Imagine how much that would suck. You're like, what the hell? I thought this was supposed to be better.
Yeah. On the last episode, we were getting I was getting a lot of answers about prison answered for me.
Yeah.
Because I was always like, you should just say, stop rape. It should be against the rules to rape. But then you have to go to protective custody.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you just have to hang out with the pedophiles.
Oh, is that? Yeah, that's all that's down there,
that's it.
right? And then you got to rape a pedophile just to.
I don't think that I would.
dominant down there.
Listen, I don't think I would be trying that. But you don't know what happens when a man is confined.
It's true. Your options are dried up.
So my friend was telling me recently how much like long-term care for your parents is once they go to a home, and it's like $10K. And I wish there was an option where you could just send them to Rikers. Like if my dad doesn't.
There should be a parent's wing.
If your
of the
parent
prison.
has full-blown has lost their mind, there's no option for them to be a ward of the state or some sort of.
No, that absolutely happens.
Yeah, isn't that where Uncle June went at the end of
those?
Sopranos?
If you I think Medicare covers nursing homes. They're just shitty.
They're awful.
Yeah, it's where you get molested, right, and stuff.
No,
right?
not really. It's just you have like a Southeast Asian woman.
It smells like pee more.
Okay, Mr. Adam,
Yeah.
and they don't really take care of you.
I remember we sent my grandma to one, and it was the cheaper one, and then we were like, smelled so much of pee.
Yeah.
That we had to go for the expensive one.
But even the expensive ones are a fucking nightmare. You hear they rob. My wife's grandparents are kind of going through it right now, where they're going from facility to facility depending on their current state, and it just even the nice ones that cost so much money, they're trying to squeeze even more out of you. They don't really take great care of you. All the effort is seemingly half-assed. It's
$10K a month
minimum. Yeah,
120 grand.
Yeah.
Rikers.
I mean, that's said.
Rikers.
State funded.
All these welfare queens being shipped up to Rikers for free.
Yeah.
Well,
why can't that be part of bail reform?
Well, I remember my grandma kept escaping. That's why we had to get her out of the PP one. Because we just find her on the side of the highway, just walking down the highway.
Like that movie Nebraska.
Yeah, it was. There is something very white culture about walking alongside
that was my mom.
A
all
75 mile an hour interstate highway.
My parents would get in huge fights in traffic, and my mom would just get out of the car and start walking on the shoulder of the highway.
Nice.
And that was I have so many
she meets
memories
a couple of
my dad
cholos,
just tapping
takes
the
their
car.
butterfly
Come on,
knife.
Get back in, Kate. Come on.
She heads to a corner
Kids
store,
are upset.
complains about the cost of soda. Goes to
I'm a
McDonald's.
hobo now.
Why doesn't it look like the pictures? How come the sandwich doesn't look like the pictures?
My mom only did that once, and I still to this day feel really bad about it, but we framed her for a fart. Nice. That was mine.
Nice.
And I think she had hit her limit with something else in life.
Mm-hmm.
And she just turned, she's like, and we were like, Mom farted. And she's, Dad, I farted. And she slammed the door, and I was like, I farted, Dad.
Yeah.
It was me.
As a parent, I can relate to something that innocuous breaking me.
How old are your kids now? They got to be 4.
I have one that's 5, and then I just had one a month and a half ago.
Oh, okay.
So I just re-entered.
Cool.
Yeah, this is the most intense time too. It's the only time that I don't really I mean, I love it. It's great to be a parent. It's very, very difficult. And as a dad, it's pure production assistant work. I'm more or less running, getting coffee, doing all the, I'm not connecting yet.
Yeah.
He just started smiling. So now I'm like, oh, I'm your dad.
Yeah.
This is great.
Is it worse because you already went through it once? So in your head, you're like, well, I know what to expect. And then it's taking longer.
It's worse.
Gotta be easier, no?
It's a little bit easier in the sense that I have a baseline of information that I did not have last time.
Sure.
It's worse in the sense that the exhaustion is more relentless because every time that my first son napped, I would kind of nap alongside him. And I just, in my head, cast that aside. I didn't really think of that as anything. But now, every time my infant naps, I turn and my 5-year-old's like, you ready to fucking rage, dude? Let's wrestle.
Oh, he's drinking now.
Yeah, he's doing bumps in the bathroom.
Are you doing the Lewis and Chris D, sending my kid to Little League MMA? Or no, don't do that.
Jiu-jitsu?
Don't do it.
I'm going to get my 5-year-old into it. He's just so physical. And this is 2 reasons. One is he's so
people
physical.
making their kids fighting each other.
My son needs to get his energy out in
Yeah,
some
but here's what's
capacity.
going to happen. In 20 years, there's going to be something different.
Yeah.
There's going to be all these kids that know karate, which will be pointless because everybody knows karate at that point. Your ratio of getting your ass kicked is still there. You know what I mean? It's
they brought the baseline up.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just now, I mean, there's going to be
Dude, the world is going to be
and
Cobra
it's probably,
Kai.
you know, it's probably the Jews. They're sending their kids to telekinesis classes now. And they're the only ones that have access to it. And in 20 years, you're going to
Dana White,
when
the crypto Jew.
When Lewis Jr., whatever his name is, he inherits the podcasting, which at that point is just a sauna without a roof.
It's been bequeathed.
It's a sauna that you can't turn off without a roof. And wherever Lewis has lived, they're squatting now at this point. Lewis has been dead for years, and he's podcasting in there with Tim Dillon's son, who's adopted from Nigeria naturally, Tim Dillon Jr. And they're doing. He's like, I wish my father had put me in telekinesis. And now I sit here, I just know karate and
all
podcasting, and it's a waste. It does nothing for me.
Tim Dillon's Nigerian.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's gay. He's not going to... Unless he's pregnant, he could be. We have no idea.
He's a closet heterosexual.
Under that shirt, there's 15 runts just sucking it.
Yeah.
It's just rows of nipples.
Did you see
He
that?
he looks like an elevator panel. He's got...
He's like a dog.
He's like a dog in a third world country.
Did you see that documentary about the what do you call it?
And say about
the
Steve
Dana
Harvey.
Carvey show?
That's a big Hollywood secret. Is that Steve Harvey's buttons are actually there's nipples.
Yeah.
They're lactating nipples
underneath all the
through
suit
his
buttons.
suits.
Yeah,
They're
Wow.
practical. The
they're
buttons.
to cover up. Yeah.
Yeah. He's produced. Yeah, he's getting
Yeah,
milked.
he's
Goes
got a
back
bunch
to
of
the old
little.
neighborhood,
There's a
feeds
bunch
some
of
babies.
small, bald, black. There's a bunch of little diglets all over his body that are sucking on him.
They're tiny Steves. They're all bald with mustaches.
Big Hollywood secret. Can't let that one out.
Did you see the documentary about the Dana Carvey show, the failed Dana? Yeah, that the first sketch that they opted to go with was that the Bill Clinton had udders and he was giving a presidential debate and breastfeeding like 12 kids at once.
It's great. I love it. I'm
Yeah.
all in.
Yeah, it was. Well, I think the mistake was that they put it on after Home Improvement.
Yeah.
So that was on at like 8:30 at night. So there were families that were like,
It's so funny because and that's like classic. They were told they could be edgy. They said there was a hard line from prime time to their show and that they could do a ton of different things. And then they were like, all right, great, we'll come out firing. And then they did that and people were like, there are families watching. Like, what are you guys doing?
man.
And it's very bizarre to imagine that like a family would be like, all right, kids, come on, it's time to watch Home Improvement. Like a family would sit down to watch Home Improvement.
I watched TGIF with
Your family. Yeah. I don't think I watched any TV. Like the TV was like, that's where you got placed in front of the television.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Your
You know
parents
what
were
I mean?
at work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were alone. Well, I watched that when my parents were still at work. I would watch after school. Or like when I was sick, that's when I'd watch Springer and Jimmy Jones.
Yeah.
That's what I associate with being sick home from school, and then I
Right.
got to see like
Price is Right.
Price is Right
shows.
was a big daytime thing.
Yeah.
Maybe the rare occasion the TV would be on in the classroom.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes where you're like, is this special? It's like, no, the teacher's drunk. They're like hungover or something.
Somebody reminded me recently we had a curriculum of the show Voyage of the Mimi. Did you guys watch that growing up?
No.
It was literally just like a TV show, and they put it on in our science class. Young Ben Affleck is in it.
Yeah.
And it's like just this deaf woman be like, CT, look at the whales.
Yeah.
And they just point out whales, and
Yeah.
that's the extent of the knowledge they give.
I remember the TV would be on if there was like, I want to say there was like a
9/11?
spaceship launch. No, it was before.
9/11, they
Yeah.
rolled in
You
the
got it
TV.
from
Yeah, it was like a spaceship launch or something that we had to like tune in for.
Yeah.
And then like catching Prices Right during the day. And I remember it was either Prices Right or Wheel of Fortune, and I didn't know what it was. And then I was very nervous because
Wheel of Fortune was some of
everybody
my
was
first
excited
directions.
about it, and I was like, I don't know what this is. Am I supposed to know what this fucking wheel is?
Well, Wheel of Fortune I associate with my grandma's house because that was on. It was Wheel of Fortune then Jeopardy before the news.
Yeah.
And so me and my sister would go over to my one grandma's house who later on we put in the pee place, and she was like of that generation of Jews that's like the Holocaust
Didn't happen.
it couldn't. No, yeah. She's like, if it started, she'd be like, oh, it's of course today's the Holocaust. I forgot, you know. So she was like, the joke would be that she'd buy one steak, right, and then put it in the oven, and of course meat shrinks when you cook it.
Yeah.
And so we'd get like 2 slivers of a steak, and then like 3 carrots and 2 like peas. And then my mom would have dinner ready for us because, of course, we'd have to eat also at 4:30 in the afternoon dinner with my grandma, and so then we'd have like a second dinner waiting for us. But that would be like the joke is like she'd like serve us, and we'd like be trying not to laugh.
Just a dehydrated meal.
Apparently, her family, like I used to think that she was posh, and my uncle told me he was like, "You think that her family had money?" He's like, "They were horse thieves." He's like, "There were 12 brothers and sisters. They were all born in different towns because they kept getting kicked out for being such trash." He said their family were so poor that their brag was to open their window and to throw their garbage onto the street to brag that they had food. Yeah, and I always thought this lady was like she had like airs and graces, but it was all fake.
Yeah, I mean, I've come to similar realizations to that because my father's from Levittown, Long Island, which is the baby boomer town, that whole thing. And I mean, like high octane.
Is that the first suburb? I remember learning this. That was the first time they did a planned community.
Well, they built one in Pennsylvania. There's a Levittown, Pennsylvania, and then there's a Levittown, Long Island, and then both of which were like
that's where the
massive
club is, right?
Battleground, battlegrounds for like racism and gerrymandering and all that shit. And there was like I think one black family.
And when you say battlegrounds, you mean like there was was no battle at all. They just decided that racism's good.
They just decided-
There was not really much of a debate about it.
There was one battle. There was one family, and they
Okay.
kept getting Molotoved, and the father made their family stay and fight through it. I remember learning
The black family.
The black family, yeah.
Yeah. Didn't Stern grow up like in one of those
Roosevelt,
places?
I think.
Then he went to an all black
I think so,
town.
yeah.
For high school.
Same where Eddie Murphy went or something like that.
Yeah,
I think so.
Very funny place. And and that's where he found out he had a small penis,
That is.
according to
In
private parts.
comparison.
That's the
my
best club in
impression
America,
of
by the
Long
way.
Island is that they is the reason it's so fucked up is because they tried to make suburbs before like city folk were really ready for it.
Yeah.
You needed like an intra-generational shift before the suburbs could actually exist in concept.
Yeah.
And they tried it in Long Island first, and then now you get all these like freaks that have like a yard and they shouldn't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that was the transition happened too fast because it would always go from like Ireland or Italy to the Bronx to the suburbs.
Yeah.
That was the move. And that either like kicked out to Long Island or to
Jersey.
Rockland County or New Jersey.
Yeah.
And it usually would happen sometimes before they were ready. They didn't even acclimate to the Bronx, let alone.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, so it was just a fucking mess.
Mm-hmm.
But my it was one of those things where I thought I grew up. My parents were kind of just a little elitist, and I grew up thinking that was my family in Long Island. That's not me. But as I've aged, I've realized that is my DNA blueprint is just like uncut white trash.
Yeah, but Long Island is also like ghettoized too, where they're like incredibly like waspy rich places, incredibly like Jewish rich like East and West Egg, and like yeah.
But
Great
this is like
Neck.
Little Rascals, dirt on the cheeks, like everybody running around, no parents.
I've only seen that Long Island depicted in one movie, which I think is like so. It's such fertile territory for like making a storytelling or whatever.
Totally.
But it's in that the Adam Sandler Chris Rock movie that they made with Smigel called The Night of, about their kids getting married.
Oh, I
it's
didn't
like
see
a
it.
later Sandler movie, but it's like the only depiction of mid-island, like the kind of like Long Island where like they brag about that Snapple is from here. You know what I mean? Like that's all they have.
Yeah.
Like the Islanders and Snapple is basically all they have.
I love it too. I mean, there's something I love that shit.
Well,
about
what's crazy too is before like Levittown, before they built the fucking highways and made Long Island what it was. There was old money on the North Shore, I guess.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the culture of Long Island was like goes back to it didn't evolve
Whalers.
culturally from like the late 1500s and 1600s up until like the fucking 1920s and 30s.
Right.
And so like the Islanders were like, I mean, they were like seafaring,
Salty.
like weird,
Yeah.
they were like British, like,
yeah. That
and-
makes sense with the logo. It like doesn't even fit Long Island now.
Yeah, it was all like bay men.
Yeah.
So they're like,
Yeah.
you go out on the water and you get the fish and they fucking
It's like a perfect storm.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
It was like that. But even that still got like, I mean, they're like New England guys kind of, but it was like, this like bizarre,
That's wild.
bay men culture of just fishing and then owning nothing, I guess, except your fucking
Yeah.
boat. I only know that from the song Downeaster Alexa. I don't know.
Yeah, he's all from Billy Joel songs. I was gonna say, yeah.
There's still some like full-time pirates though that live on Long Island. Like my dad still
Well,
has-
not according to the song.
No.
Yeah.
If we check the source material, there's no island left for islanders like me.
I remember when I was little, I met one of my father's friends, KB, who had literally like he had all of his teeth from this side to the middle, and then none of his teeth from this side to the other side. And he was just one of those dudes who had never left the water, never lived on like solid ground, constantly was just going from bar to bar that he could tie his boat up to, shit faced, and just honestly, it looked like an ideal life.
I heard that North Fork still has spots like that.
Yeah.
Of like Suffolk County. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like salty ass, like
just weathered skin.
man.
Yeah,
I went to like my girlfriend's family has a place in the Springs, like out like way east.
I met a guy years ago, and it was on some job. I can't remember what it was, but he was like, he had come from like an islander family that goes back. So his parents were sailors, and then he learned how to sail, and he was very good at sailing. So then he got a job. He like worked just sailing ships for rich people, like their fucking yachts and stuff.
That's sick.
Or they would buy a sail, like a rich person would buy a sailboat, and they're like, I want to get to the Caribbean the fastest, you know, like. And so they hire him to win races for them, basically. Yeah, but that was his like life, I guess, leading up to. I can't remember. I want to say it was like PAing or something. I wish I could remember where I met that guy.
That's sick, though. I mean, isn't that would be the goals if you could just like
a competitive sailor,
unreal. You just cut through the chop for some rich people. It's Wolf of Wall Street. Just heading to Monaco.
You get to fuck Margot Robbie.
That would be
she's
cool.
mad at the husband.
Yeah.
No, we got. He's like, I know this guy who's got the best scallops, and he just lives on his boat, and he's one of those guys. But he was like, he's just on Tina. And I was like, "What's that?" He's like Christina Aguilera, like Crystal, like.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, they just go out.
Tina.
Yeah. I think I mentioned on the show before, but they just do Crystal, and they're the best at getting fish. Yeah, they're like locked in on getting fish.
They can fix their sonar with their bare hands.
Yeah. But great guy.
Sick.
Great scallops.
Perfect Storm's actually a great movie.
I love that movie.
I remember being disappointed by it when it came out. Maybe because I was a child and I was like expecting them to like survive. So in the end, when they're like, and everyone died.
Shouldn't be sad.
Well, everyone died. Every character in the movie is dead at the end of the movie. You know, it's not like one. There's not one of them where it's like, you know, the black guy and the white girl, they make it, and it's like, oh, I didn't think it would be them, but you know, it's like none of them.
I always wondered how they even knew what happened. Like, I guess they had the coordinates of the boat and shit.
Yeah, it just went missing.
But they just assume. I mean, you know, they
it's all
had to
fictional.
write
They don't know
accident.
any of those conversations. Yeah.
That's what always fucked me up when I was a kid, though. Like, based on a true story, I believe that wholeheartedly.
No,
where I was like, oh, this is what happened verbatim.
It was probably like 5 minutes in. They're like, I don't know, the storm's looking pretty bad. What do you think? Just gay fuck till the end? We just orgy. We all fuck each other into the storm. And then it was 37 hours of just hardcore rough trade.
Yep, just
no protection.
3 dicks and 1 man.
It's
rated PG-13.
Right. There's so much blood you don't even process it anymore.
Well, that's how they caught the fish after.
Yeah, right.
Lucy, guys, do you use nicotine products?
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
But if you did, you'd want to check out Lucy, which is 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco free. Lucy isn't like every other nicotine pouch company that's owned by Big Tobacco. They're a mom and pop shop of pouches. Lucy Breakers are nicotine pouches with an extra surprise. Each pouch it has a penis. Each pouch has a capsule. Oh, sorry, a capsule. I got it wrong. Sorry. What was I saying? Each pouch has a capsule that can be broken to release extra flavor and hydration. Basically, they have these products called breakers, guys. They're like a nicotine pouch, but you break them, and then it just gives you an extra blast that sends you to the moon, folks. You can set yourselves up with the subscription and have Lucy delivered straight to your door. What's your favorite flavor, Nick?
The apple martini.
He's a debonair kind of guy. He likes I like
think that's one of them. Apple something.
Yeah, I like malt.
I like the Mexican margarita flavor.
Yeah. I like the what do you call it? There's like a coffee one that's kind of nice, and you have it with your coffee. You're like, this is complimenting. The flavor notes complement my Java in the morning. What strength are you using these days, Nick?
50%.
Yeah, he's up to 50% these days. Nice. I'm still a 6 milligram man. I like to throw in my Lucy in the morning, or when I'm having a midday slump. You know, nice. I get terrible news. I've burned my life to the ground, and I pop one of those in, and it's just it accompanies that my life is still burnt to the ground. Sure. But I'm really cooking on nicotine. At the golf course too. That's really good. Are you a golfer?
I am a golfer. I've done it there where it has locked me in for like a hole or two. I'm not very good at all, but it gave me a little bit extra kick.
I just golfed in Ireland for the first time. I just did a links course. It is goddamn impossible.
Did you get the hat?
Yeah, I did get the hat. Of course, Nick. Yeah, of course, I got that.
The
hat.
scally cap thing.
Of course, I got that. I didn't get the.
Oh, wait, the one
Walkers.
with the palm on top.
Huh?
With
the
you didn't get
palm.
what? What did you say?
The Knickerbockers.
You dragged the middle of that
Don't
word
do
on the
that.
first time. For
Don't
sure.
do that.
I didn't even catch it. I just heard how Pete was laughing.
There's a
I'm like,
sports. There. Oh, come
was
on.
there a joke?
It was a
Don't-
long CK.
Don't do
it was
this.
a rolling CK.
Don't. I'm 37 years old. I have a lot to lose right now.
I have an EP
Okay?
coming out.
I have an EP. 20 minutes of topical material on the war. On Kamala. Stuff I have to burn. I didn't say that word. And Lucy would never say that word. That's for sure. And they would never tell me to say it. I got the hat. I didn't get the short pants.
Sure. Yeah.
That the
Hiked
New
up
York
with
basketball team
with the Argyle socks.
is named for. They chose the name.
It's weird that that's not what they didn't call. That they didn't call Bagger Van. You know, that wasn't the title of that movie. I had no idea that it was like a golf pants thing.
I didn't say that
Can
word.
you imagine that movie coming out of him like smiling on the cover and you see the title, The Knickerbocker. And you said, and then they're saying, just try it, pal. Just try it. Just try us. Just try it. Just go ahead and fucking try.
Weinstein Pictures presents.
Enunciate well.
Let's level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co. That's co, not no m. That's lucy.co.
What the hell is Bagger Vance, by the way? I don't think I've ever even actually seen the movie.
Bagger Vance is
He's like
he's
he's
magical.
magical.
Negro.
Yeah, I know, but it's like over.
Was
the
he a
top.
ghost?
He's a ghost. Okay. Yeah, he's one of those ghosts that show up and give you the best advice at the pivotal point in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, and he's wise and black.
Like I could always say that's what I assumed it was just a fake
a
caddy,
trope.
and he was actually carrying his own bag the whole time, and he was having some sort of schizophrenic conversation with a black guy he made up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like Fight Club.
It's Golf Fight Club.
That's lucy.co/TAFS and use promo code TAFS and you get 20% off your first order. Lucy offers free shipping and has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Guys, try it out. 30 days to change your mind. That's lucy.co and use code TAFS, TAFS, to get 20% off and always free shipping. And here is the fine print, guys. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age. And every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Thank you so much, Lucy. And now we're back to the show. And we're back.
So let's say things escalate, right? It's just we have to send people to the Middle East, and then Russia does, and then we're in direct confrontation.
Birthright.
And then nukes are flying. Are we sitting here doing this still? We're sitting
of
here.
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I always think about like in the Titanic, they're like, and they kept playing as the ship went down.
Yeah.
And it's not like they were probably just like, well, this is my job, so I don't know what the fuck.
Who knows if it'll fully
I
go
don't
down.
know. Yeah, maybe it'll be fine.
Yeah. Maybe this area will stay up.
Yeah,
Who knows?
right. It's not even.
And Kill Tony went on.
You should have done that.
And tried out stand-up comedy.
Maybe they all brought out the violins.
The
in
buildings
perfect
are
storm.
collapsing.
Yeah, I mean something's got to start the new civilization. So podcasting might be it. Maybe that's the
No,
the foundation.
no, it's not going to be that. Not if I have anything to say about it.
I think there should be more podcasts.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think that just a couple.
Do you know
more
the
podcasts
CIA has a podcast now?
for sure.
Like
No, I
labeled
mean
the
they
CIA
literally
podcast?
have. It's the CIA podcast. It's called the Langley Files. and
Oh, it
it's
literally does.
two CIA guys that sit around fucking podcasting.
Is it officially
It is officially
From-
the CIA's podcast.
like MeUndies has ads in the middle of a fucking or whatever?
Well, I would imagine their money mostly comes from selling heroin, but they don't.
Yeah.
They don't
yeah,
need.
from
funding
pop-
conflicts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Yeah. Who are the hosts?
I don't know. A couple of CIA guys.
It's guys.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's guys.
Yeah.
I would get pissed off if it was if it was like girls.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, talking about coups. That would actually that would make a difference in my misogyny.
It seems like that's what they're kind of aiming for with Iran. That seems like that's the response. They're going to try and force regime change, without an invasion. And I don't know. Is that possible? Isn't the only way
propaganda?
Is the only way to do a regime change by like finding a general that's like, sure, I'll kill all the citizens, and then you're like, great, here's a bunch of money and intel and resources. Like you can't go to like women that want to wear scarves or whatever and be like, you can do it. You know what I mean? Like that's not how it works. You know, but you got the son of the Shah is like he's making all these videos now. They had an election for him. Did you see that? No. This video is like it's like the Washington Jewish Council or something in DC. They're at a Kurt Shackelford show, and they're like, I am pleased to announce His Majesty the King of Iran, Shah Pahlavi. And then this guy comes out, he's like, thank you so much.
Where is he? What's the name of the young gun?
What's
the
that?
New Reza?
Reza Pahlavi, yeah.
His name's also Reza?
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to Ryan on the phone. He's like, yeah, my dad's there right now visiting his mom. And I'm like, they're still Jews? He's like, yeah, they're still Jews. I was like, didn't they tell us that all the Jews got kicked out? He's like, no.
One of the funniest, I saw a Reddit post one time, and there's a picture of like Tehran in the fall, which is very pretty. It's like it's a gorgeous country.
Yeah, really pretty.
And there's like a picture, and it looks very pretty, and you can see they all this infrastructure. They got a highway and this like beautiful architecture. And like the top comment is just some Reddit guy saying that's Iran with like the like inquisitive emoji. like they really have people thinking that it's like fucking just like a desert.
True caves.
Yeah,
like, nothing. No infrastructure.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
No, like society, culture comes from there. Yeah.
I went to the Middle East in 2019. I was in Jordan, Kuwait, and Bahrain. I forget which one kind of borders Iran, but they were saying that
SEAL Team 6.
they were saying some of the soldiers, I guess, I don't know if I should even say this, but a couple of them would go off base and like drink at a local bar and immediately be drugged and wake up and their entire bank accounts were empty and all the shit. And they would go on Tinder and find like an Iranian woman and meet up with them. And of course she worked for some other group. Yeah. And it was like a huge problem.
I would imagine that happens everywhere, except in Japan where the soldiers go and rape 12-year-olds. That's apparently, Pete, that's right. Isn't that like a big Navy problem? Yeah. In Okinawa, yeah, they go off base and they rape children.
Wow.
And it's like, and it's Japan, so they're like, please stop disrespecting us. They can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
They're like, these child rapes have got to stop. But yeah, look, support the troops, whatever. But yeah, apparently.
Wait, is it local army or ours?
Ours.
Oh, ours. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they leave. They go out into Japan, and then
they're being like, you can't even tell how old they are.
Yeah, right.
They're just like, you have no idea. I like the spontaneity of this show. Kind of anything could happen at any.
Anything could happen, but yeah, no, that's. I would imagine that there's a lot of bases where people wander off, and then you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. In Bahrain, I went to this one.
I can't. I mean, if I was at a fucking bar here.
Yeah.
And some guy in like a French sapper uniform with the dumb hat was like trashed at a bar, I'd be like, let's steal this motherfucker's hat, dude. Let's at least take his hat.
At the very least, yeah.
It's like, not the entire uniform.
Yeah.
And then see what kind of goofy money he has on him.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And it's also like, they are doing the dumb thing anyway by leaving the sanctity of the base. They're going out there trying to pick up pussy in the middle of the Middle East.
Yeah, right.
What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah. But we have exciting times ahead of us.
You think so?
Well, yeah, I guess it's like there's going to be some kind of response to this ballistic missile attack.
Yeah.
It seems like, it's funny because like
I'm honestly asking you, so I'm not being like fake inquisitive. I have a newborn, so I'm so not like everything that you're saying. I'm aware that generally.
Well,
I'm
I'm an imbecile, so I'm not the guy to ask.
I'm even more so because I'm like, please feed me all the information you have.
Yeah, I'll say things and then people will laugh and I'll be like, yeah, I guess that was a joke. I guess so.
I meant it with my full heart. But
sure, yeah. But No, it's funny because it's like the Mossad, not even the Mossad itself, but there's this mystique around the Mossad and how good Israel is at doing sneaky things.
Sure.
You know, with this like pager attack. But that cuts both ways because Israel's never been in a position of any country that you could carry out like a false flag attack on. They're more vulnerable than any other place in the world. If I'm the IRGC, what I'm doing, you could just fucking say the Ayatollah has a tummy ache and then launch the missiles because they're like, well, the Mossad did it, and then like half these people would be like, the Mossad gave him a tummy ache. They never saw it coming.
Right.
You know, it's like you could do anything. You could blow up an empty fucking building in Tehran and just say, "Oh, they did it."
Right.
And everyone would believe him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's because of the movie Munich. Because they got a sexy Australian guy to play one of them.
Who's that? Eric Bana.
Eric Bana.
That's right. Former
not
comedian.
even a Jew, who was a comic. Apparently, he was funny.
Oh no shit.
But that it made them look more badass. Probably.
Yeah. I mean, the pager thing made it look pretty badass. Like that, just from the outside
the
looking
pager
in.
thing. The videos look like Looney Tunes. I mean,
Yeah.
the videos look like
It looked like you ever see when somebody like crawls through a maze of mouse traps or something like that's kind of what it looked like.
It
Just
looked-
firecrackers going off.
the footage looked like a hidden camera like prank show.
Yeah.
It looked like Trigger Happy TV.
It's just
It like didn't look like it
See
looked
Sal
like
and Murr
it looked
dying.
like Sal came up with it. Looked it was what's that?
Especially because a lot of the bombs went off at a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, yeah. It didn't look like as. It looked like because it was on TV too. You know? It was like it didn't like register like it was like a goofy prank thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, and I was kind of more impressed before I knew that they coded the parts in something. Like it was that kind of I thought they could just access something that has already existed in the phones and just set them off.
No, but I mean, you got to be pretty dumb if you're like a terrorist organization. Because like I mean, the world falls on one side or the other.
Yeah.
Either you're with fucking Russia and China, or you're with the United States,
Taiwan, right?
They bought them from fucking Taiwan.
Yeah.
Why would you buy Taiwanese?
Yeah, get it from Russia.
If you're an internationally recognized terrorist organization, don't buy Taiwanese electronics. I mean, it's
I
like,
love the idea the boxes weren't even sealed. It's like half open.
I mean, it's
don't try to get a good deal on it.
yeah.
Because Lord knows an Israeli probably fucked with it. Yeah. It's probably the same store that like the Zohan worked at in Queens when like
I'm just impressed they could even find that many beepers in bulk. Like just in general, I didn't realize that those were still a sellable item.
Yeah, well, they still use them in healthcare. Like
no shit.
Doctors still use them because
I
they
didn't
use
know
it
that.
different. It doesn't use like cell phone networks.
Gotcha.
It's like different technology. So
Right. It's
if
like
there's an emergency, you need like, you know, if a bomb goes off and blows up all the fucking cell phone towers, you still need doctors to be able to
Right.
get to the hospital or know where to go.
damn.
yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah. If you needed like a boob job.
You need a quick tit job.
Yeah.
But the solar flare knocked out cell phones.
It's I put on West Wing the other night.
I love that show.
It's an awesome show.
It's awesome.
It's so funny too.
It's
like the
funny.
second episode, the very affable black White House doctor, like the president meets him, he likes him, you know, and then he's blown up in Syria. The White House doctor is killed by a rebel group in Syria who shoot an RPG at a fucking commercial jet, like I guess 30,000 feet up in the air. They fire a rocket launcher.
Sorkin rocks.
Yeah, and they.
That was one of my least favorite things during like the Bernie era. That the like rose, it was cool. It was like a rose emoji thing to shit on the West Wing. And I was like, I love that show.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I made that point. Now you're saying it.
No, when did you make that point? That and Harry Potter
times. Multiple times.
That's fun when a relationship
Go to the
you guys
archive.
kind of mind meld, and then you don't know whose opinion
I wouldn't
is
call it
who.
mind melding so much as an opinion I expressed.
When did you say that?
internalized
As
it.
All right, let's go.
Straight
Actually,
theft.
go scrub through that. Scrub through that. Yeah. He never made that point, dude.
Okay.
Honestly, he didn't make. That
What's your
point.
favorite episode?
Of the West Wing?
Yeah.
The pilot.
No, I like the season with when Jimmy Smits comes into it.
The end of the show.
I like that.
Those are the last two seasons where it's like they those ones suck.
Mm.
The early ones are better with Josiah Bartlett, who's like Just such a shitty. It's funny rewatching it. He's sort of like, what if Andy Rooney was the president?
Right.
Because he has all these
What's
like
a mixture?
there's all these dumb soliloquies where it's like, like, okay, all of the cities have been nuked and we need to make a decision. He'll be sitting here at the Joint Chiefs. He's like, 2 weeks ago, my daughter brought me a cookie she bought at the store, and I went to open it for her, but the packaging was too difficult to open. Now I'm sitting here thinking, I don't want to.
It's
Look
like,
at the cookie.
like
I want to eat it. He's just
grind my
complaining
gears.
about. Yeah, it's just this long. Like to get to some dumb point at the end.
Did they make a movie before the show? Like, is this the Michael
No.
Douglas and redhead chick movie?
Oh, the American president.
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, I'm thinking of something.
Was that
completely
Sorkin
different.
who made that made that
I have
movie?
no idea.
I don't
No, I
think
think
he
these
did.
are completely two different.
But anyways, the only
projects.
point to bring up is like it's funny because like the social issues. The only thing that's changed since 1999 and now is that they don't use pagers anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything else is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that way when I rewatched the movie PCU recently, and I was like, oh, this is right now.
Yeah.
they're literally
Is
all
that
about
with
speech.
Weird Al?
No, it's with Jeremy Piven.
What's the one with Weird Al?
Is it a
UHF.
college?
UHF.
Oh, I
okay.
didn't
Sorry,
see
yeah.
that one. No, David
What's-
Spade is in this. Weirdly, John Favreau is in it as a fat guy
What's
with dreadlocks.
PCU? It's a college movie.
It's a college movie.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Jeremy Piven is supposed to be in college, but he has like a super pushback hairline. It's
He's
nuts.
gotten a great plug job.
He's the end. He got
Yeah.
it early too.
yeah. He was one of the first.
Yeah.
Did you get plugs?
I didn't know. Does
No.
it look that way?
No. Well, your hair looks good.
You look like you've lost weight, but you weren't fat.
I know. People. My wife even said that too. She's like, I didn't realize that you were
weren't
like fat.
You weren't fat, but it looks like you've lost 100 pounds. I mean, it's like,
You're exactly right though, dude.
Yeah.
And I did. My face was like, in retrospect, fat.
Were
but
you
it didn't look
drinking?
like that in real life.
I don't know. Yeah.
Dude,
Were you
huh?
drinking or on?
I was drinking.
You
Yeah,
were drinking.
Yeah,
That's probably
I mean,
why.
but that was almost 6 years ago. It's been more recent though because I just stopped eating late. Like I literally cut myself off at 8 p.m. and it's all the difference in the entire world. I'm back down to like what I weighed in college.
Interesting. I don't eat after like 5 p.m., but like not meals. So I'll have like
Right.
Reese's and stuff.
That's what, dude. I was like shoving pretzel rods in my face.
Oh, yeah.
Little things nonstop.
I gotta stop kidding myself with the present. When you buy the barrel and you're like, this will last me years.
yeah. It's a
And
good
then you're
deal.
like, you're not even home from the store.
It's from Costco.
Empty.
yeah.
You just get salt and like 4 rods left.
yeah,
of all
right,
the-
yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that it's typically people's faces change when they stop drinking.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, I just had like kind of a
People look
sheen
great.
of blubber.
Yeah.
People's skin looks awesome when they stop
It
drinking.
is like an
Yeah.
Irish guy thing where your head just gets wider.
Yeah.
The
Alec Baldwin's head
Yeah.
is insane.
Dude, my
It's
father
huge.
too. I come from a fucking long line of just like Irish Saint Bernard heads.
Yeah,
like
right.
Just no neck.
They
It just goes
whoop,
shoulder to
whoop.
head.
Yeah, they just expand.
The Brian Dennehy.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have cops in your family?
I do a lot. Yeah,
Everyone.
My grandfather was a cop. My uncle was a cop. Now turned comedian podcaster.
That's got to be crazy.
Yeah, of course it is.
So he's like, do you have any
so
advice for
embarrassing.
me? Is
Dude,
it-
I don't even talk to him anymore
Oh,
because
okay.
that was what was happening. He was like liberally dropping my name to anybody who would
Wait,
listen
he's
as if it
trying
held
to
any
use.
cash.
Oh
money.
my god! If anyone in my family,
so he's
did
like
that, I'd
fucking.
kill
He's,
myself.
he's
It's-
like Saul Goodman basically.
Truly-
He's like a fucking.
Dude, one of his jokes, I kind of like it, but he's like, back in my day, we used to try to get some trim. We called it trim because that's how
Is
they
he dice?
This is how he fucking.
Yeah,
I literally
he does
have,
dice.
I can play the video for you right
Yeah,
now.
can we actually right now?
Hey,
Actually, you're helping him out, but yeah, do it.
I don't
please.
think he even does stand up anymore. To be honest,
He
Now
killed
just-
himself.
He
about
killed
a year
himself.
ago.
He's long dead.
He sounds awesome, actually.
Not a bad guy.
Let's
Wait,
hear the
just-
bit though. Is he trim? Is because of what?
Here it is.
Because they used to trim their pussy.
they used to trim-
Now, how
They
is
used
that
to
a joke?
trim-
That seems like it's just etymology or whatever.
It's
Yeah, of course.
you'll see, there's not much.
You know why they call it gypping people? Because it comes from the gypsies.
Yeah.
It's like that's okay. Are you a linguist? I don't.
I mean, let's say
What's
it's
the
all in
bit?
the
Play it?
delivery, probably. Yeah.
So 61 is the new 51, they say, right?
They do.
And I work out all the time so I can stay trim. So I can get some trim. Do you millennials know what that is? Trim is pussy.
Yeah, millennials are like 45 years
Back in
old.
the day, they used to just shave the sides, Thus the word trim. But now, They shave the entire genitalia, so maybe they should call pussy bald. And they get some of that bald shit.
It's not dice. Wait. Let me look at him. He's doing dice.
Yeah. But that's also his real accent. Like, that's not even.
This
he's
is
not putting it on
someone's
at all.
uncle. Yeah. He just looks like
He was like in homicide in the NYPD.
Is this a governor's?
This was actually at a bar show in the city.
Oh,
it was the
okay.
only show that him and I ever did together.
Interesting.
And I walked in on his set, and I was like, I gotta record
Has he
this.
ever had to go on leave for a brutality?
I don't know. I actually, you know what? I've never looked up his like citations or anything like that,
Let's do
which is a public thing.
Sounds like a good idea.
I don't want to ruin his whole life, but he's retired anyway. So
Did his back hurt ever? And did he ever?
Sure.
But did he ever have to deal with it for with his pills and then have a problem with the back pills?
I wish I knew, dude. I don't even talk to any of my extended family.
Has he ever
enough to
called
know.
into WFAN?
Yeah, definitely 100%.
Has he called into Mike and the Mad Dog?
100%. He's
Oh my
probably
God.
a Jets regular caller.
And then he's like, "Yeah, hey Mike,
Mike."
how's it going? So I'm trying to get trim because
Just
so he can get pussy."
I don't know what the fuck you're talking
Yeah.
about.
I don't understand. I don't understand why are you saying this to me? I don't,
What are you talking about? DD
What does that mean?
Is?
What does that mean? Hello?
Who is this? Joey Gallo? I love.
I had two uncles
love-
do stand-up comedy since I started doing comedy, and it's like the
That-
classic.
I hate that
It's
so
Irish
much.
support. It's not real support. It's like if this homo can do it, I can fucking do
Yeah,
it.
you fucking
so they,
suck.
They
Yeah.
did it. One of my uncles I respect. He's really funny. He's 6'5", like 400 pounds.
Oh, I respect him too.
Naturally funny. Did it twice, killed, and was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I beat the game. Why would I ever do it again?
Yeah, smart.
Good for you.
That's how you do it. You quit immediately.
Yeah, for real. Why?
Yeah.
Why chase it?
Yeah,
I did
really.
that. I threw a free throw one time. Swish.
Yeah.
So NBA, I don't think so. They miss all the time. If you watch, they miss.
Yeah, they
So,
do, and you
I
never
didn't.
have.
Yeah, I never did. So
That would be sick if your first and only basketball shot was a make, and you're like, "That's it. I will literally never touch a basketball
yeah, I'm
again."
too good at this.
100% from the field for my life.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I fucked one time. I busted so fast. That's how good I am at sex. I busted in 5 seconds.
So what's this? They got a sequel to Gladiator coming out on the sneak.
On the sneak.
Yeah,
There's
they
been no
do.
marketing for this movie at all.
Yeah, there's just been like still images peppered in.
It's
from,
coming
like,
out like next week, basically.
No, it isn't.
It's
Really?
in November, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was for next year. I thought they were only showing like production shit because
no,
it was
it's
coming out
coming
next
out
year.
in fucking November. Gladiator 2.
Damn. And what's his tits says it's like the best movie
What's
he's ever
his
made.
tits?
The guy I forgot his name. The
Ridley?
Steve
director.
Harvey.
Ridley. Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey.
Yeah, the multiple tits.
What's his? What's his tits?
Ridley Scott said it was like the best movie ever made, better than the first one.
Really?
This is how he's promoting the movie. Yeah,
I mean, I'm stoked.
I like the Irish dude.
I might try smoking weed for it,
Nice.
which I haven't done in I don't think 5 years now.
I got tickets for New Joker, which I didn't realize they made either.
Folie à deux.
Yeah, it's a musical.
It
or
sure
something.
is.
Yeah,
It's
I think
a-
it
I
should
haven't
be-
heard anything about that either.
It's a
like
mu-
good or
Have you
bad.
really not?
I heard.
I have not.
Oh, because
One-
there's been a cascade of negative reviews.
One
really?
person I
Came out,
know
yeah.
that said it's great.
No shit.
I haven't heard anyone even say it's bad.
I think it's going to be one of those things that turns because everybody immediately said it
Do you
was
think
the
it's
worst
because it's an
movie ever.
election year that you were just not hearing about movies coming out?
Maybe.
I heard about Alien Romulus and I went to see that, but
Yeah.
but
I saw Deadpool Wolverine.
it's probably because it's election time, so there's just not.
Yeah. That's why I put out my special mid-September. I was like, I'm not I'm not competing with this shit.
And that's why the EP is coming out 4 weeks before the election. Hot topical material.
But it's about it. This is what I love that you're doing, though, is you're an American going to a different country to talk shit about America, not being a foreigner
pussy.
coming to America.
a coward. Yeah, running away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But finding a friendly audience that will be...
I was giving them the business too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You let them know?
Well, I mean, they
Did
were
you
like,
give them shit about Ireland? Because I hope you did.
I've been talking. I'm mad about it right now. There was food. I love Ireland. Have you been back?
I played Gaelic football for a long time. When I was 15.
Where did you? Where in Long Island?
No, Rockland County, and then we would play in Van Cortlandt Park in the Bronx.
So what's that? It's like soccer, but you just imagine
use
the ball.
your hands? Yeah.
Just imagine
There's no-
It's kind of like it's like rugby, soccer. There's elements of volleyball, basketball. Like it starts with a jump ball. It is Australian rules football is the same game but with a different ball. But it's like it's really physical. It's fast paced. There's a lot of scoring. It's great.
Sorry, I asked.
You're right. You're right.
I was the one that asked. I didn't.
You should call into Mike the Mad Dog and ask him if he's into it.
Try to talk.
Yeah.
Talk hurling.
I don't know what this is. I don't know what you're talking about.
But yeah, I haven't been back like as an adult to perform or anything like that, or even with any
Ireland?
kind of cultural understanding of where I came from.
I really loved Ireland. I didn't expect to as much as I did.
Do you have any people there, or you just went?
No, I went with like my girlfriend's family. They're like, I guess
They're white, so they're from Ireland.
they're
Like every
they're
white person.
Yeah.
Well, they're like New York City, so they're Italian, Irish,
Gotcha.
Jewish.
Yeah.
So like some combination. So yeah.
Oh, well, Pearl River in Rockland County is the most highly concentrated town of Irish people outside of Ireland in
Yeah.
the world.
You would think it would be Chinese
Why?
Pearl River.
because it's Pearl River.
Yeah. Yangtze in Rockland County. Yeah. No, her grandparents do live in Rockland County. They live in Upper Grandview. It's very nice.
That's where I'm at.
Oh, really?
No shit.
You live
yeah.
there now?
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful there. Yeah,
it is. It's like a 3-block neighborhood.
But
so
how
see
are
you
the
there.
taxes? The taxes got to be bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't own a home.
You drive
okay.
into the city?
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the GW.
I don't mind it at all, dude. I was living out in Crown Heights and I was taking a train in. And it was 45 minimum, an hour typically to any club. And now my drive
From
in
Crown
is like,
Heights?
Yeah, dude. On the A. Or
Yeah.
I lived on Nostrand and Prospect, so right between the A or the 2, 3, 4, 5. And it would just to Upper West Side, stand up New York. Or
Yeah,
even
I
the
guess
comic strip, that
if
was
you're
like an
going
hour
up there,
10.
right? Yeah.
It was crazy, but now
Because
so
I live in Bed-Stuy, it's fucking 20 minutes. I'm anywhere below the park.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Stellar is really easy.
Yeah.
I'm
to
actually
get to.
very inspired by you living there.
No kidding.
Yeah. It's kind of smart, no?
I
You just
mean,
take the Palisades and you're in the city.
Yeah. 9W
Yeah.
to the Palisades. I'm here.
One time I got a blowjob on the Palisades Parkway.
On the Parkway.
Yeah, and it was too many turns. I didn't, but it felt gay to say I don't want a blowjob. But it's a windy road.
Yeah. It's not that windy. I think
It's a lot of these. And I
Sure.
was just like a little bit like.
It's a lot to concentrate on, I suppose,
It's
when
the only
somebody's
time
attached to your penis.
It's the only time a guy has sucked my penis.
You're like, this is fucking gay.
It's gay to say no if some guy's trying to suck your penis.
That's cool, though. I don't know if I've ever gotten roadhead in my entire life.
It was the one time I ever did, but I remember it was on the Palisades Parkway, and I was like a little bit like this is too dangerous.
This is too
In my mind, I thought it was too dangerous.
Yeah.
So then I got in the slow lane.
It's also, too, you think about what happened with an accident, that airbag would have snapped their neck right away.
100%.
Yeah.
Dude, first, every single night that I come home from the city, there is a smearing of blood across the parkway
Oh,
from
it's
freshly
still one of those-
demolished deer.
I feel like the Jersey Turnpike used to be a death trap back in the 90s. And it's like, it doesn't seem like, I have not seen a bad accident on the Jersey Turnpike like in the last 10 years. I saw one, I know, because I always look them up afterwards. So I did see one guy die. But it used to be, I feel like I would see burning cars and fucking like just horrific wrecks.
It's still the case on the parkway because there's no lights.
Yeah.
It's nothing. You're in the pitch black. The only light you have is your headlights. That's it. So you're just fucking.
I think it's
just
the
guessing.
turnpike like has those like the outer and the inner like lanes, right? The truck lanes are on the outside, and then
Do you know that used to be children? Like when cars and roads were first invented, like they would just be
They
like
would drive
kids
on children.
like there would just be kids laid out on the side of the road like deer.
Yeah.
Because there were no guardrails, nobody knew what to do. They were playing in the road.
Yeah,
all that
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
They just get absolutely trucked.
Well, it took a while for them to figure out that like we need speed limits and any kind of like road controls. They just had roads
Yeah.
you could drive your
Well,
automobile.
and the
on.
cleanup was just as slow, if not slower. So
Yeah.
there'd literally be some kid in fucking, buckle shoes on the
Yeah.
side of the road with the socks pulled up.
Right.
Just books everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Scary, dude.
It is scary.
Are you afraid of your kids dying all the time
every
now?
day,
You're
every
one of
day.
those.
Yeah, I mean,
Because they could die in so many different ways.
They sure can.
Especially when they're so small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had friends die in young ages, so it's like it's ever present, constant fear.
Like when you were a kid.
When I was in high school, especially, we dropped a bunch of friends, and then going into
Oh,
college.
Jackass videos.
yeah, a lot of shopping cart
Shopping
accidents.
hearts. Yeah.
A lot of paralyzation. Some ended in death. But
Jackass had to have killed let's say 500 kids probably.
who should be dead from it? Do you know Mike Feeney? One of my
Yeah.
good buddy. He
was doing Jackass.
He was doing Jackass. There's videos of him in the back of his friend's Honda Civic doing like $120 on a back road on Long Island. Could have killed anybody. Could have flipped his car. Went into a house. All this shit. And they're like, yeah, like in the back seat having a great time. And it's like, if you were my friend, if I knew you back then, you would have died.
Yeah.
That's my connection to people that have that kind of fun.
My friend was telling me that in high school, him and his friends got into ghost riding the whip, right? And he did it on a decline. And he got out of the, first of all, he was like, yeah, I didn't know how slow you had to get to the car. He said he got out of the car at like 30 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
And he just started rolling. And then his car, he was like bleeding. He had a chase after his car. And I was like, so your friends were like in the car with you? He's like, no, I did it alone. I was like, why would you ghost ride the whip alone?
It was truly practicing.
He was like, yeah, I was going to my friend's house, and so like he was like, yeah, I was gonna just tell them, oh, I ghost rode the whip.
Oh my God, dude!
So his car, he put it in neutral. He got out the car was like 28 miles an hour, just like fucking rolls.
Oh my God!
And then his car's like on a decline.
I've gotten out of a golf cart when it's like still rolling and fallen down.
I almost flipped golf carts like multiple times. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. In high school, I grew up in Vegas, so we have like a ton of golf courses, which is like first of all ecological
Crazy
disaster.
Is it though?
Yeah.
But they're like nature.
But they're feeding
the grass.
They're like piping in water from elsewhere.
The
like
water's good.
It's so hot.
No, but
Water is good.
Hold on,
You're
because
right.
now I really don't. I'm not like an
It's so- okay,
anti-climate
first of all,
change guy, but now you're going to tell me
There's no
grass
water.
is bad.
Grass is bad. Grass is bad. Yeah.
Like, what?
So it's so hot. Okay, so first of all, the city pays you to get rid of your lawn. So you get a tax credit
If you
on
have,
your
like,
house
rocks.
if you get desert scape in your house. So like I remember we had a backyard with a lawn and my dad like got rid of it because
No shit.
it's so hot that when your sprinklers go off, like 50% of the water is evaporated before it hits the grass. It's
Damn.
like whatever, but because
That
it's-
reminds me of you ever have a big beard in the wintertime, you get icicles in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is awesome, dude. I'm a monster.
yeah, I'm Mamook of the
Yeah,
North.
I'm a
I feel like
fucking
you're on the show
monster, man.
alone.
Yeah.
I feel like you could do that.
What?
Do you watch that show?
I could
Alone?
not do whatever it is. I can't do it.
The guy who
I feel like
wins.
you're so good with your hands. You know how to build shit. Like, dude, they send people out into the
I
wilderness
could barely
of
get out of
Alaska.
bed.
They
I-
figured out, but you could be alone and like handle that, the psychology of it. I think.
Totally.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If they did Alone,
If
New
you
York
dropped
City
me in the
like a
middle of the
tenement
woods,
building.
if you gave me like fucking, I don't know, like 16 packets of Jack's Links, I guarantee you I could survive 3 weeks in the woods because I would just be sitting out there doing voices
Yeah,
and have like characters.
and saying it.
Yeah, just talking to him.
and saying it.
Letting it rip.
No mics in,
Yeah.
no microphones around.
Just
Yeah.
in the by myself. How you doing? My name is Jamal Pinecone.
Just talking
I
to a
wonder if
fucking
y'all
squirrel.
got a job. Y'all got jobs out here? Oh, nothing. You ain't got shit. Okay, all right then. Yeah, I'm just out in the woods. I'll be out here.
Just being.
Just doing a character. I'm like, what if a black guy was on this show?
Yeah. They figured out early on in that show that you have to put on like 100 pounds before you go on.
Yeah.
Right?
That's kind of cheating,
You
though.
can't go in skinny because
Yeah.
you're fucked.
No,
Yeah.
because they all thought they would be able to hunt immediately. They didn't anticipate
Yeah.
that like the areas they were in were not fully stocked.
within the first 2 seasons, they're like, you got to go in fat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
they just starved themselves for the first 2 weeks
And
and
then
then,
you're
set up
yeah.
a gilly net or whatever, a gill net.
I'd be dead within 5 seconds.
Instantly.
Yeah.
It is my dream though. I watch like my whole algorithm are like small Mayan men building like, lean-tos in the woods, and there's something about that seems very very interesting. To me.
Yeah, and Chinese ladies.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Chinese.
I just get
ladies
recommended
making those
like
videos.
soldering videos. It's just like people making small electronics.
That's awesome.
No, it's not. I don't look that shit up. I guess it's because I clicked on it once.
Yeah.
And now everything is like, watch me bring this old computer back to life. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'll. But I don't like it. I don't want that.
I also got into like building school buses into homes.
Okay.
Oh
Stuff
yeah,
like
van
that,
life
like-
stuff. Yeah,
It
I get
just-
a lot of that.
Yeah, it looks sick. Like if I didn't have kids, if I didn't have kids and a wife, my life would be completely different. I
You'd
mean,
be Brian Laundry.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
similar, very
You
similar.
kill your girlfriend.
Yeah, I'd find an influencer with
Yeah.
low subs, build her up, and then murder her.
Build her up, kill her, and then get eaten by alligators. Oh, shout out to Florida. I heard you guys did all right in this hurricane.
Minus the Tampa Bay Rays stadium.
Yeah,
You see
yeah.
that? This
Well, it
is
said the roof got ripped off, but I'm watching this.
But it
and
was
it's
made
like,
out of
was the
vinyl.
Roof, yeah, this was this was
Made of
paper.
tarp.
I mean,
Yeah, they
it's
used
like,
tarp.
It's like a six
not-
doilies taped together.
Right. Yeah, I think people kind of overblew that storm.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
to save face, they were like, "Oh, the roof."
You know what sold the storm was?
I'm sorry, you said 10 million people would be dead. So.
Yeah.
You said 10 mil?
I watched. No. There was
You know what's awesome
there
too
was a
about the state
weatherman
of
that
things
was
is this happens now. People get to be like, climate change fake.
fake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which,
especially
hey,
Florida.
you
Maybe
got
that's
me.
why they overshot it in Florida. This is their like, well, clearly this is bullshit.
Well,
it wasn't them doing it. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, that
yeah.
makes sense.
I
there was
guess
there was a meteorologist that there's a clip of him that went viral from like 3 days before the storm, and he was crying, and he's like, "We know why this is happening," and that made it seem like, oh, this is about to be the biggest one ever. And so I actually watched the storm on TV last night, getting ready. And then I woke up this morning. I was like, and checked the storm.
Yeah, I saw a guy. There was a guy on Twitter because it was from like 2 days ago. They were like, "This is completely fucking overblown. This thing's gonna be Category 2 as soon as it hits land." Like it was like,
Yeah.
the eye's gonna collapse. It'll be Category 2. This is a big fucking nothing burger, or whatever. And he posted that like 2 days ago. So I was like, "Is this guy smart or something?" So I like check his timeline, and he's really into masturbating. It's this whole thing. Like all the other tweets are about like, I think I'd ruined my life jacking off. I have a girlfriend now, but I'll never escape the incel mentality. It doesn't matter how much pussy I get. It's just that's me. That's like his whole thing. There's like a lot about being 5'2".
He's awesome.
Yeah.
About being
And then he's got this
5'2".
one tweet where he's like, here's what's going to happen.
Oh,
it's kind of like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer's like, the thing is going to burn up and it's not even going to be. And it ends there like, the scariest part is that Homer was right.
It's the broken clock.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to talk about Blue Chew. Do you know about? Have you used this?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, me too. I use it every day. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com. You consult with one of the licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you receive your prescription within days. They're made in the USA, and they're prepared and shipped directly to your door. The best part, that it's all done online. No awkward visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy for your pills. They come in discreet packaging. You could take them anytime, day or night. You could plan ahead, and you could be ready whenever the opportunity arises. Does it work?
Yes.
Do you think you need it?
Yes.
You could try it free for a month, and you can see you're gonna love it, and your partner is gonna love it even more than you, because your dick it hasn't gotten hard really properly.
Penis is looking mighty hard there, partner.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a hard cock you got there.
Where it's
Dude.
with BlueChew.com, men everywhere are excited to see the postman, because when your package has arrived, they say there's nothing sexier than confidence, and Blue Chew can help give you confidence where it counts. Blue Chew wants you to have the confidence to perform your best in bed, so discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we got a special deal for you guys. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code TAFS at checkout. Just pay the $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code TAFS, to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Thanks a lot, Blue Chew. And we're back. So I don't know.
So this storm did nothing. It seems like it's fine.
Yeah, I guess North Carolina got hit worse, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
North Carolina's fucked up.
It's
Which,
really
by the
sad.
way, I will be there tomorrow. I'm in Charlotte doing a benefit show at the Comedy Zone tomorrow and the day
Benefit
after.
for the
Yeah, it's
for the
going to
hurricane.
the North Carolina community. I had to go on I don't know, like, I was like, okay, how do you find a good charity? I didn't know any of this stuff. So then there's a website, Charity Navigator, that ranks the North Carolina Community Fund. It's the first one listed because it's everything it's like Helene charities.
Yeah.
And then the first 15 are all in like fucking Georgia.
Yeah.
And then the first one that was for North Carolina, I was like, okay, we'll do this one.
Nice.
But then the name is like the North Carolina Community Fund, and it's like the Western Disaster Relief Fund.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty doesn't have a cool name, but I guess their financial audits are up to the standards of whatever Charity Navigator is. So we're doing them, but yeah,
Nice.
that's who the benefit is for. And
You
I'm
were going to be
assuming-
down there anyway, and then you're just
Yeah,
like,
we just
that's a great idea.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So go check that out. Also, I will be in Syracuse next month, and there are more dates that are going to be announced shortly. Where will you be?
I have a special out now on YouTube called Traumatized Animal. Check that out, please. And
Oh.
then I'm on the road this month. I'm going to be in D.C. I'm going to be in Philly. I'm going to be in Wilmington, North Carolina. Everything at MikeCannonComedy.com.
Right.
Weren't they guaranteeing death to certain areas of Florida?
Yeah, that's
like
what I
literally saying like you will die if you remain in this area.
Yeah, right.
no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yeah, and then I love all the videos your guys are like, fuck you, man. That's the only reason we have videos of the storm.
Yeah.
It's because it was a guy who was like, I'm not fucking worried about a fucking hurricane, dude. I'm going to sit here and take fucking videos.
I saw somebody wrap up their entire, it was either a Lambo or a Ferrari, and they bought so much plastic wrap that they literally wrapped it up in
That's
an attempt.
awesome. That does nothing. That's like that.
They're like, we're just keeping it in the garage. Hopefully it doesn't wash
Yeah.
away, but if it does, it'll be dry.
It's like the Lexus December to Remember event. Do you remember those commercials
Yes,
where
I do.
there's a bow on top of a car?
Yeah.
And I was like, one day my husband will do that for me. I can't wait.
I mean, he's basically effectively put his car in like a sandwich bag.
I did
And
see
it's
a
like,
video.
This will be fine.
I did see a video of one of those electric, the Rivian, the electric pickup truck in Asheville. This guy's truck floated like 700 feet away. It was caked in mud.
Oh, I saw that
and
too.
he tried
yeah.
to he started and it started.
That's pretty sick.
That's not free promo for that whatever the
Yeah.
fuck that company is.
Yeah.
Apparently there's also a hiding spot like between the bed and the cab of that car
A
where
secret annex.
yeah, that's like a seat
You could
where you
put
could hide
Jews
Jews. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
you traffic a child.
Yeah, right.
In the Rivian.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
You could fit 2 Jews or 6
There's
kids.
already there's an empty diary just in there waiting, just branded. My
Dear
diary.
diary.
the open page dog eared, so
Yeah,
you know
right.
where to fill it in.
Very nice. Yeah, so nothing happened in Florida, I guess.
No.
Yeah, the attempt to kill all those Republican voters before this blowout election.
Nice try, Kamala.
Fail.
Not going to work. Are they going to debate again or no?
I don't think so.
No.
There's no reason for. I think they like Trump's campaign is like, yeah, we don't have to do anything.
Yeah. So am I wrong? Because again, I feel completely disconnected from a lot of like just mainstream news in general. Am I wrong to think that like the attention to the election has kind of died down a little bit, or is that just me personally?
No, I think people are definitely paying attention. to the
Okay,
election.
all right. Because
Yeah.
I just remember 2016 being like such a fever pitch leading up to it. And granted, I didn't have kids at that point, but I just thought like it doesn't feel like that to me right now.
I think
but
our
then
only
maybe
hope
it's
is
just
that
me.
it's a blowout one way or the other. Mm-hmm. You know, because then it puts an end to whatever this current era is.
yeah
You
the
know what I mean?
stealing thing.
Well, not just the stealing thing, but whatever the cultural thing is. If it's like a complete blowout, then fucking the Democrats need to like completely recalibrate what
Right.
their plank is, right?
Yeah.
And same thing, vice versa. If Trump lose, then that's like the end of this like MAGA shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
What are the polls saying?
the polls are saying that it's
Neck and
fucking
neck?
yeah, basically
Yeah.
right there.
But it's just 3 states, just Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And it's
I think the polling averages are now that he's ahead in Michigan.
She went up in Pennsylvania after Biden dropped out, which doesn't make any sense to me at all, but that's what I heard.
Well, her favorability went up as soon as they made the switch.
Yeah.
But then it's been slowly, like, it had a pickup for a while, and
Yeah.
now it's like dropping again since she's been making, like, you know.
She did have a beer on Colbert though, so that should boost things.
Yeah, well,
She did
that's
Stern this week,
That
right?
she did
Yeah,
Stern.
yeah.
She did Call Her Daddy. Trump did fucking Andrew Schultz's podcast. Was Akash there, or was it just...
He was.
He
Yeah.
was? Okay.
So
I'll watch it for Akash.
we gotta see that.
It should have just been Akash.
Yeah.
Akash and Trump.
It should have.
Yeah. Because he's, you know, Akash should be like, you know, like us. we know what females are thinking. Trump's like, right. That'd be an amazing podcast.
That would be unbelievable.
Trump was like, yes.
I would love to see that. Pete, we'll put a little beep, maybe. Maybe we'll put a little beep.
That's the first time anything was said on this podcast, just for the record. It's the name of the basketball team, and I didn't buy the pants. I wore the hat.
Did you watch the Schultz Trump?
No, I just watched the clips. I mean, I'm not like I don't know.
I watched this clips on Theo where Theo was describing Coke to him. And that was pretty
Trump
cool.
Trump
Yeah.
did Theo's podcast.
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
I
yeah.
see. I wasn't aware of that. I thought this
Yeah.
was like the first of his.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm great for these guys. They're getting a boost in the audience. That's cool. I'm not a big fan of like just.
No comic is watching podcasts.
It's insane.
I
Yeah,
mean, you
it
know.
just feels like a quick grab for an audience, and then it probably dissipates a week later or whatever. But you know, get your money, do whatever.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I would love if he came on this.
Yeah.
I would love just to meet him one time.
I bet he would.
No.
He
not
seems
at
to be
this
making
point.
the rounds though. He's
Yeah, but that's not. This is not the rounds.
This is not the round.
This is not. Let's make it clear.
This is
This-
not
Well, I
even
mean that
close to
across
the
the board.
round.
Like even
This'll get
Howard Stern
15,000
wearing the
views on
three-piece
YouTube.
suit and like interviewing Kamala as her, you know, the #1 fan of her fan club.
Yeah, it's
was
Howard
like
Stern.
super embarrassing.
Well, it's so funny too because it's like the whole point of doing those is like, you know, oh well, we'll access regular people,
Right.
But like even at this point, Howard Stern is worth like $1 billion.
Yeah.
And then half these podcasters are like, we have way more money than we should,
Right.
You know, but like, I mean, it's
And no one listens to this.
and no one listens to it. There's like some
Somehow.
podcasters now have hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, it's like they're even more out of touch than,
Right.
you know, like fucking if you just did local news. He should go do local Fox affiliates.
That would be
You know?
sick.
And they're like, what do you think about this cat that got stuck in a tree?
Hopefully somebody's not trying to eat it.
They're still trying to get that story going.
Yeah.
I saw a thing on the conservative subreddit where they're like, they're eating pets. They're like, even if they are, I just don't think that that's... People aren't voting for president based on...
Pet consumption.
You know, it's like... It's such a ridiculous thing to focus on.
Yeah. People got really mad about that for some specific reason that I couldn't understand.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like a real thing, but even if it is, I don't know.
No, and it's also like how often could that possibly be happening that it's an actual issue?
Also, if your dog got eaten, that's your fault. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Yeah. I almost want to give my cats away to somebody
Cats are disgusting.
to eat them.
Yeah,
I do not care for them.
Yeah, drop them off in Chinatown. See your house won't smell like pee-pee anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Your
main
kids
issue.
can use the litter box now.
My kids can
Yeah.
shit in a box.
Your kids can.
I would. That's almost better than diapers. Is cleaning out a box like that and just being able to scoop it. It's less hand to that contact. It's
They're automatic. I have a robotic one. It's nice.
yeah. I had one of those and it
Nice.
just shot fucking litter all over my house.
And then
Like anytime I probably built
Israel.
it incorrectly.
Israel. Classic Israel. Classic.
yeah, I just want they should just do the election now. Why are we waiting? Because of the laws?
Do you have?
Is
have you said
Eric
who
at-
you're gonna, not who you're going to vote for? Who
I
you think is going to
will.
win?
I will mosey on over to the polling place and probably just vote for Jill Stein You know, I mean, it's like if I even vote. I don't, yeah.
Is she in this?
Well,
She
yeah.
is.
Like I haven't
She's
seen
on the
her
ballot,
speak this
I think.
entire time.
Well, the Green Party
I've
never
seen
gets
clips
more
of it.
than like, you know,
Right.
they never even get into the fucking double digits, I don't think. But I don't know. Like, it's so pointless anyways, you know, that it's like, okay, well, fine, I'll do this. I'll get my sticker.
Yeah.
It's a block away from my apartment.
Take
It's
a
a very,
picture of it on
voting
your
is
nose.
such an anticlimactic thing to do. With the amount of attention that gets placed on these elections and how important they are. And then you get to the day of, and it's like, oh, this is it. And it does nothing.
And you might find out in a few days.
Yeah.
If Eric Adams is on that ballot, I don't know when his election is, then I'm voting for his ass.
I might write him in for president.
I don't understand. He's the best mayor of my lifetime. I don't know.
I just love that he was trying to like connect in the Middle East to go to Chile or whatever. He was just doing all this shit.
He's got my vote just for whatever he wants to run for the rest of my life. I give him my sword.
Yeah.
I love him so much. There's never been a mayor since we've lived here that I've liked.
Yeah.
I think it's a job where you get booed.
Yeah.
Nick and I went to see Paul Simon like in Queens once, and it was like before COVID, before like De Blasio was like everyone a great New York, and it was like NPR like 68-year-old Jewish people, and they were like fuck yeah, like it's just a job where you get booed.
Yeah.
Like it's not a fun job at all, and this guy is just he's handling it with grace.
He's like a WWE heel.
Yeah, people haven't like universally liked the mayor since LaGuardia. You have to go back like 100 years
Yeah.
to find the mayor that everybody's like, oh, he's our mayor.
Yeah, I mean, even post 9/11, Rudy. Is
Yeah,
probably
but
the
everybody got. I mean,
Yeah.
fucking
Apparently-
Bush's approval rating after 9/11 was 93% for like a
for
month.
that perfect fucking strike.
Yeah.
So
That was
sick.
Still, I think, in my opinion, one of the greatest sports moments ever. It was just such a
From the
great
rubber.
pitch.
Yeah.
just a great pitch.
Great World Series too. The Diamondbacks Yankees.
That's
Unreal.
right.
Beyond Young Kim. Just every save getting blown.
Was that the year Gonzo hit the flare to win it?
Game 7.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. New York lost after 9/11. Made it even better. It was like the perfect storm. There's no way New York was going to lose. It was awesome.
But the Patriots did win. So that was
That's
a big
even
thing, right?
worse.
The Patriots won the Super Bowl, so they were like, all right, we got one.
Do you think we're gonna have another 9/11?
On 9/11 or a different day?
No, a different, another big kind of.
I don't know. I mean, ever probably, but I don't know if in my lifetime. I don't think so. I just feel like everybody's keyed into these big events now too. It's like, and even if they do happen, they're just immediately out of the news cycle.
You would say that if 9/11 happened,
No,
people
not
would be,
no, but like I'm talking about like mass shootings and shit like that. Like
Oh,
it
okay.
seems just so quickly just swept away.
But
as
that's
if,
like a domestic thing, you
Yeah.
know. It's not like, oh, this was
true.
even the foreign stuff they try to do now. It's like people don't really care. Like after the Trump assassination attempt, they're like, oh, Iran was trying to kill him. People are like, fine.
Well, that's what I mean. The second Trump assassination attempt, like people were like, yeah, but we saw this movie. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
we're
right.
good.
On TV though.
What?
There wasn't a video.
Yeah, that's true.
There wasn't this.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a fist pump.
The fist pump was on the level of Bush pitching from the
Yeah.
the rubber.
No, you're not
That's
wrong.
the closest analog we've gotten. That's all. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be another 9/11. I mean, what's the?
You know what I'm excited to do is sit in that theater, high as shit, knowing who the president's going to be, and watching Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
That's going to be the best part of the movie. Is that I know who the president is going to be.
Is that Kamala's
Yeah.
picking her wallpaper?
And that'll be, no matter what, it seems like it's going to be pretty bad.
The election?
No, whatever happens in the next 4 years.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's already bad though. We're just never going to get health care. So like what like
Yeah, that's completely off the table
Yeah.
at this point.
so I mean like so what could they do?
But you can rack up medical debt and it's not a problem anymore. That's the thing. I mean, that's like
they could change that rule whenever they want.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
Who knows?
Not if I have anything to say about it.
then that's the Joker 3.
What do you mean that's not a problem? Like it doesn't affect your credit?
Yeah, they can't report it to credit agencies.
That's why we've been
anymore.
told. Everybody's like, hey, when you have a baby, like you get bills, like never pay it. Just don't
Don't pay it. And then as
Yeah.
soon as now it's illegal for them to report it to the credit reporting agencies.
No shit.
So if they do that, if they even report it, then they're in violation of the law.
Wow.
If you have outstanding medical debt that's on there still, you can just contact the credit reporting agency and say, hey, this is, I don't know if this slipped by your radar, but it's both illegal for the healthcare provider and the credit reporting agencies to list that.
Wow.
So they're both, I don't know if that means you can sue them or if there's some way you report them to the CFPB.
So then what is the recourse for not paying?
Eventually they'll sue you.
Okay.
Yeah. But depending on the amount of money, it's like they got to figure out whether this is worth it or not.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like a good system though. Like, right?
Well, it's certainly better than
suing your patients. Yeah.
It's certainly better than the system where you like have something bad happen and then they just start sending you bills they won't explain and then it fucks up your credit and then you can't buy a house or these other things.
80% of the bills are wrong too.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's just a bad system that if you get cancer, then you could just be in debt the rest of your life.
Right.
That doesn't seem like a very good system. But what are they? They're not doing it. They don't care. None of these people care anymore.
I would say because it's like you need a complete overhaul of everything. Something like this, which is, I don't even know if it's a federal law. It's certainly the law in New York now.
Yeah.
But because this like cuts immediately directly to the issue affecting the consumer, this is like a better type of incrementalism than some broad piece of policy like Obamacare that might have these like minor wins broadly speaking, but I don't think, and then what? Then do we get an update on it ever? No. We're going on 12 years now.
Yeah.
So something like this where it's like, oh, we'll just fuck over the smaller debt collectors. And then it puts them all out of business.
Yeah.
Fine.
Well, in either way, it doesn't seem like there's going to be any kind of like staying power to the change. Like even if they were to just give healthcare, what's to say that the next person is not going to just take it away? Like it just seems like everything can be undone so easily.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
I would say, yeah.
Again, I'm not. You guys are smart. I'm not.
Well,
we are smart. We're really smart.
You're very smart.
Well, let's say this. Let's say they do it. Let's say they nationalize healthcare,
sure.
Right? And then as all of those industries are gone, well, then there goes with it all of its lobbying power. Mm-hmm. Now you have like a federal agency in charge of healthcare.
Yeah.
And it's like, where is the legislative power to now privatize this? Mm-hmm. Doesn't exist, right? It would be like somebody that's like, oh, well, let's bring private healthcare back and invest all this money in trying to get, the Department of Health completely fucking eradicated. It just wouldn't happen. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't think it would shift back once you get there, right?
But I don't know because isn't that what happened with Obamacare? Like it just got taken apart.
Yeah, but Obamacare wasn't like, it was just like a carve-out system where you maintain the. I mean, it's pretty close to like Republican plans for compulsory health insurance. Mm. Like Romney Care in Massachusetts is probably like it was basically modeled on that.
Obama.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a mandate for private insurance as opposed to public option.
Yeah, and then it expands Medicaid to a certain extent. It creates these like state it dictates that the states have to make these shitty websites that don't work where you can sign up for health insurance.
It's the most Democrat shit in the world.
Yeah.
It's an exciting website-based option to something that doesn't work and no one likes. But they painted a rainbow flag on a crosswalk, so
that's cool.
They don't hate gay people or something like the other guys. But
as long as there's that,
they're just. They're basically the Democratic Party at this point is just the point of it is to just protect the S&P 500 and just make sure
which is doing great, by the way.
Which is doing great.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe as podcasters with an audience of 0 that are worth $500 million, we should probably get behind Kamala.
But that's the other thing. I don't know. Is the stock market doing well, or is that just like how bad the dollar is doing?
I don't. Someone knows that I'll never. Because
it's like, let's say you're up 20% in the stock market, right? And you're like, great, I'm going to sell what I made and buy eggs. Well, eggs are also up 20%. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, I don't.
And you have to pay capital gains too.
Right. Yeah.
So you're actually losing money on eggs.
But you write off the eggs as a business expense. I make chickens. I sell chickens.
I podcast about eggs.
Yeah.
I have an egg podcast.
I sell chicken. I've been buying eggs.
I'm in show business.
I still haven't gotten a single chicken, but my business is selling chickens.
The eggs are media. It's a media purchase. Yeah. So who are you voting for? Trump?
yeah. I honestly, like, when Biden was still in, I didn't plan to participate. Now that Kamala is in, I kind of still feel that way just based on sheer, like...
It's going to be really funny when she loses and then Biden's approval rating is like 90%. People are like, he should have stayed in. And
I miss him already.
She doesn't have a career after this if she loses, I don't think. I think she's
that's
done
not how
in
it
politics.
works. That's not how it works.
She'll write a book.
Not in, maybe she can't run for president again, but they get rich. I mean, they fail upwards.
Oh, well, yeah, but she's not
every
going to
loser doesn't.
She's not going to have a political.
She's not going to be a hobo. That's that's not what you're saying.
And then I also don't say she can't speak either. So it's not like they're going to fucking have her on. She's not going to be like Hillary Clinton where they're like, which country should we bomb now? And then she just sits there getting fatter and fatter.
Laughing.
Yeah.
I miss her kind of at this point.
Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, at least
she's still around. She'll never go away.
No. She's still, like, talking about her experience and everything. She really, she's into it.
What's she saying?
She basically is still saying, I won. And when I won the election, when I won the popular vote, but then was screwed out of it, like that's kind of her perspective still.
Yeah, I had to compete. I was in Boston, and she was doing a speaking event next to the venue I was at, and so I showed up, and there was like pro-Palestinian like protesters, like outside of my show, and I'm like, I guess I don't, sure, but yeah, it was for her. Yeah, so they were there protesting her.
You thought you just assumed it was you.
Yeah, I'm like, you got the wrong guy. I don't know what to tell you. It is very funny seeing them though, because it's like the same crowd that have spent the last 15 years bitching about fucking cultural appropriation, and then they all dress up like
They're
Muslims.
doing the keffiyeh
you know,
thing.
and I'm like, I don't. Why is that okay?
Yeah, it's not.
Why
chill.
is that in this one? It's all right, but when I show up to fucking BLM wearing the wax lips and you know, and the white gloves, everyone's like, "This guy,
Come on.
you gotta go, man."
It's Al Jolson.
Yeah. I'm like, you know how much I had to learn tap dancing for 6 months before, and now you're telling me I'm not welcome here just because I'm trying to show solidarity. But yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand why the keffiyeh is okay.
Yeah. I guess they're not making money off of it.
That's never been the
Isn't that
cutoff.
what the appropriation is?
You're not allowed to do yoga.
Right. Okay. So you just can't have any influence from any other.
I don't understand. Not that I have a problem with it. Great, where are the keffiyeh? I just don't understand why that. Explain that carve out to me.
Yeah.
Why that one is okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Probably they're saying it's an homage, or it's in solidarity.
That's the same argument anyone else is making. You know what I mean?
It's a covers act. Yeah.
I'm not taking their side, by the way. I'm just trying to offer what they might say.
You couldn't wear like a kufi to a BLM thing. You
No.
couldn't. You could not be a white guy showing up.
You could
to,
wear a Knicks jersey though.
Come on. We know
Adam saying the
roll the
N-word.
tape. Well, I guess we'll see what happens in the election.
We will.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I don't know. If anyone wants to come on this from the election, you're welcome to, by the way. We won't say no to anyone. No matter what your opinions are, no matter how...
Did you guys get RFK Jr.? Did you talk to him?
We couldn't even get him. That's how irrelevant we are. That's how far we've fallen.
I see.
All right. And we'll be back next week. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks again to Mike.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to plug?
Yeah.
Just a special. Watch the special.
I forgot. I'm in Tacoma. I'm in Tacoma, Washington next weekend, and we added a Sunday show. So if you're whatever the club is in Tacoma, Washington next Sunday,
Tacoma Comedy Club.
That's it. There
Good
you
place.
go. Yeah, I'll see you there.
Phenomenal. Thanks a lot, guys.